Are you prepared for the TikTok ban? I don't know, man. It might be
Right.
going down. All right. That's what we're going to talk about today on League of Hustlers. I'm your co host, HT.
CD Barnes.
And today we ran across, well, a couple of days ago, we ran across the Restrict Act, right? Which is a bill that's been introduced into Congress and is better known as the TikTok ban, right? The TikTok
TikTok, you
ban.
don't stop.
you know, and so we just wanted to discuss this, man, because this is a real triggering topic right now. Our elected officials are exploring the possibility of banning TikTok and other apps which have been deemed as basically spying on American citizens when we do not want.
Spyware.
Yeah, we don't want it, we don't need it, right? What's your thoughts so far, bro, before I play this video?
I don't know. Let's just play the video and then,
All right.
kind of talk about what they say. Because my thoughts are,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right, so this guy is Say Hey James on TikTok, and he does a really good job explaining it. We'll just, play this and jump in every now and again. All right, here we go.
This is Bill S686, also known as the Restrict Bill. You'll probably know it as the TikTok ban bill, but it does so much more than just that. It actually does more than any bill I think we've ever seen. I encourage everyone to read it by going here and clicking the text tab, but here are the main takeaways. Foreign adversaries can change by definition, but a few are already listed. They are the People's Republic of China, including Hong Kong, Special Administration Region, the Republic of Cuba, the Islamic Republic of Iran, the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, and of course, the Russian Federation and Venezuela under the regime of Nicolas Maduro Moros. I hope I pronounced that correctly, but these definitions can change at any time. The bill covers hardware technology like modems, routers, and home cameras, and virtual tech like VPNs, and basically bans them if they are manufactured by or used to contact and deal with foreign adversaries.
How will you know if an item that you purchase from overseas, number one, most of our electronics are made overseas,
Right.
but how will
Made
you
in
know if that
Taiwan,
item
made in
that
such
you
and
paid
such.
for, right? How will you know if it's being used to send information back over there? We won't know. I just paid $2,000 for a drone, and then you come and be like, "Hey, your drone that you just paid $2,000 for, we're gonna confiscate it because it's sending information back over there." Like, I digress. Let's keep going.
Speaking of VPNs, using VPNs to bypass banned apps such as TikTok is made a criminal act under this bill. And the penalty, it's a minimum imprisonment of 20 years and a minimum fine of $250,000 or $1 million, depending if you knowingly did so to access banned content.
Who is policing that, first of all? That's pretty steep for a person. That's pretty steep, man. That's a pretty steep. That's not a speed. We're not talking a speeding ticket here, bro. We're talking
right.
This ain't no speeding ticket.
Jump to $250,000.
Really? Basically, y'all gonna take somebody's house about this? Like that's pretty steep. But yeah, back to your
250 and 20 years, bro.
Right. And 20
years.
You could basically take a life at this point in time, and that's pretty steep. Pretty steep.
That's hella steep. Good Lord. All right.
The bill gives the federal government the power to monitor any activity used by these suspected devices, virtual or otherwise. Essentially, they can monitor what you are doing at home 24/7 without even informing you. This includes things such as routers, video games, streaming apps, smart thermostats, Ring cameras, basically anything that uses the internet. Now, the real terrifying part of all of this, as if that all wasn't terrifying enough, is...
Wait a minute. So here's what that gives me. Now I love a good conspiracy theory, man. And so my concern with the bill is that, what he just spoke on is an underlying, you know, reason or an underlying motive for the ban altogether. Not necessarily TikTok, but the fact that we can use this as an opportunity to gain more data and insight um, without your permission, without you,
Right.
and so and without giving you the opportunity to opt out of it. And
Right.
currently, you have the opportunity for the most part to opt out of a lot of the data collecting activities on certain platforms or devices or apps that you use. If you don't want to share the information or whatever, you can just hit the checkbox and opt out and still get to use it. But that's kind of the part. It's like, really, with the thermostat in my house, the cameras. I mean, and the conspiracy theorists have been talking about this for years at this point in time with this whole Internet of Things and all of these devices being used to monitor the population. So that's, that's my concern with that part.
Right. And mine too. Like, and I think everyone's. It's almost like doing the exact thing that we're accusing other people of doing, right? Like, I mean, with cameras and stuff, I've kind of always figured, like, yo, if it's an IP camera, like somebody has access to that mug, right?
100%.
Either either you, right, and someone who can tap into your network, or whoever controls the camera. Like, you can put a backdoor, leave a backdoor and something like that. But it's like, for them to be able to do it, still doesn't make it okay. Like, there's a camera that's in private places, and in your home. You don't want anyone able to tap in and be like, since you have this device that was made overseas, let's tap in and see what you're doing.
Right.
Like,
Right.
no. Uh
Yeah.
jeez. Jeez. All right, let's get back to it.
Is that the bill goes on to state that this will happen by the president appointing a secretary of communication. That secretary then forms a group on their own without any voter input whatsoever. This group can have meetings behind closed doors. They don't have to disclose anything. They can ban and deem anything inappropriate or a risk to security at any moment in time. And if they do, they can go through your instant messages, your emails, text, basically anything that uses the internet, and they can censor it. So in summary, this bill can effectively ban anything the government deems inappropriate extremely quickly without warning. The ramifications of this range from breaking up mass communication methods to even watching the cameras in your home, aka spying on you. It really is that bad, and I am not speaking in hyperbole. Please contact your reps. I have a video on my TikTok ban playlist on how to find your representatives and tell them if they vote for this, you will support their opponents in their next primary. If I missed anything in this bill, please let me know in the comments. Share this information with anyone and everyone. I will be covering this bill and the TikTok ban throughout, so to stay informed.
Yeah, so I don't know, doggy. This is kind of extreme.
It's extreme.
I get that we need to protect ourselves from foreign, enemies and stuff like that. But gee whiz, like, if it goes and it's as far reaching as, this guy says it is, that's a problem, right? Um, so I don't know, man. I don't know. And hopefully they rethink it. Hopefully they rewrite it, right? And make it better, but still, remember that this is America, land of the free, home of the brave. Like, um yeah, it's extensive, bro.
Yes, definitely extensive. I think there's other stuff, that can be put into place that could still achieve the same, security levels of security. Um, you know, when it comes to that, besides just like banning and tapping into everybody's. But that whole censorship thing, man, like it's happening socially already. All
Right.
right. You know what I mean? Just socially. Um, it's a thing. You know what I mean? You can get canceled just for saying something that the large group does not agree with.
Right. For saying
And
something like what?
Bro, cut it out, man. Cut it out.
Get the whole
Bro, who you
chapter
think you
shut down.
cut it out? But I mean, the point is though, is that yeah, so and that is censorship. And so that's kind of what's being applied. You know what I mean? So now it's just being applied at a larger scale. If that happens, it's being applied at a larger scale. And it won't feel, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't feel good. You know what I mean?
Right.
When somebody is essentially squeezing you, and it's not really squeezing you, but it's just more along the lines of we watching, you know what I mean? And Big Brother is watching you. That's
Right.
so it's a little bit different when you gotta move differently and more carefully about, and who knows what they're watching for or what anybody could do with this information
Right.
for their own personal use or gain, or to exploit you in some case, you know what I mean? And so that's kind of
And
what
and
it
and
boils.
and
That's the scary part.
and who knows what the threats are, right? That we don't know.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
That's the
Yep.
other part to it.
Right.
Um, Obviously, there must be some people using this stuff for those types of things, and that's why they're like, "Hey, we need to introduce this to be able to get at these people." But it's
Right.
like, shoot, man, whew, this is a little, it's a bit much. It's a bit
Yeah.
much.
So how do you move? Let's say they do come. I mean, and realistically speaking, these platforms are businesses that have to comply with certain regulations and things like that. It's just like when you go out to a restaurant, if they're not complying with certain regulations and stipulations, they can be shut down.
Right,
And so in terms of any business that's operating, and this is just a little different because it's at a cyber level, right? If they're not in compliance or in good standing with whatever body has the control to regulate that, then they can be shut down. And it's just, I think this is just kind of new territory to some degree. Not really new, but it's kind of new. Um, you know, to be regulating people on these platforms because we feel like we have the freedom and we should be able to do what we want to on these platforms. You're trying to like hamper my ability to communicate, express myself. A lot of people are making money on these platforms now, so you're getting in the way of that. And all types of different things. So it's a lot of different angles that have to be kind of looked at. But yeah, the whole surveillance part of it. Um, it's
right.
definitely, it's scary.
Yeah. That's a lot, man. It's a lot. There's more money going towards our, like, putting ourselves on lockdown. You know what I mean? More resources, right? You have these computers that are now able to compute, these massive amounts
Easy Putin.
of computers puting. Shout out to the It Is What It Is podcast, Cam and Mace. You saw that, by the way, Cam and Mace podcast?
I haven't actually watched it, but I did see like, that it exists. Yeah.
Yeah, they be on there tripping, man. But yeah, man, so it is what it is. Long story short, it's something to consider. So we say all this to say, if you right, what do you do if one of these apps like immediately shuts down? You've built a massive following on one of these apps. You have a business, and your business has however many followers, right? What do you
Right.
do? Right, you have to prepare. You have to protect yourself. Go ahead and get you an email list, right? Use some type of email service. Get these people in a database somewhere where you
Right.
can access them, just in case one of these apps are banned, right? So
Yep.
this is the League of Hustlers. We're going to tell you the truth. We're going to give you the actionable steps that you need to do to protect yourself and your brand. And this is one thing you can do, right?
Right.
Create that email list, right? Go ahead and have your followers get on that email list. Give them a lead magnet to get on the email list. Convince them to get on there. And then that way you can capture their email and then tell them that, like, hey, this app was shut down over here, but let's
Mhm.
go over here, right? I'm gonna start creating content over there. You know what I mean? So just be prepared, folks. We never know. They could shut TikTok down any day. And my thing is that this isn't just TikTok, right? Any other
Right.
app is essentially what happens if they find out it's a back door to freaking Instagram or something, right? Instagram should go down based off of these laws. You
Yeah,
know what
but
I
even
mean?
outside of the laws, even if these laws weren't coming into place, like you already know people that the platforms themselves will ban their account. Period. You know what I mean? And then sometimes, maybe they may be going outside of the guidelines of that particular community. And then of
Right,
course, there's other times where people feel like they're just getting shut down because they're truth tellers or whatever it is, but they get the account shut down. So either way, man, you have to have a way to reach your audience outside of these platforms, or you need to have a backup plan outside of these platforms.
right, right. Exactly, exactly. So yeah, you know what it is? It's the League of Hustlers, man. It's some good advice for you, some stuff to take in consideration. It's coming down the pipeline. We just don't know when. Like I said, hopefully they change it up and make it a little less invasive. But get prepared. It's the only thing we can do, and get prepared to prosper. All right.
Yeah.
It's been another episode of the League of Hustlers. Let's get it. Let's go. Follow for more. Cheers.